All right, so we're diving deep today, folks, into Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist.
Yeah, a classic.
Really digging into it, using the book itself. You know, the prologue forward, those powerful passages that everyone seems to love,
Right.
to kind of see why this book just keeps resonating. You know, why is it still so popular?
Yeah, it's interesting, isn't it? On the surface, it's an adventure story, pretty simple.
All right.
But then you start to see all these deeper questions. It's asking about life and purpose, our place in the whole universe, all that big stuff.
Yeah, and right away we're in this world of alchemy.
hmm
But I noticed it's not really about turning lead into gold, literally.
Exactly.
It's using that as like a metaphor for something else, you know?
Totally. And I think that's where it gets really good, not like a get-rich-quick guide, but like a guide for your inner self.
Right.
Transforming yourself, right? Do you think Coelho, did he plan that from the start, or did it just kind of happen as he wrote, you think?
I think the hints are there right from the beginning. Like when the Englishman is looking for the alchemist,
Yeah.
he's thinking, teach me how to make gold. But then the chieftain, he asks this really interesting question.
Yeah, what is an alchemist?
Right, and the alchemist's answer, it's all about understanding the soul of the world.
Yeah, and how everything's connected. Pretty heavy stuff for so early in the book.
It is. What do you think, for our listener, what's the best way to describe that soul of the world based on what we read?
Well, it's like this energy, right? It's everywhere, connects everything, kind of like we're all part of one big thing.
Right, like a giant mind we all share.
Yeah, and the alchemist, he's saying if you understand that energy, that's the real alchemy. That's how you change yourself, truly change.
Not just changing stuff around you, but changing you.
Exactly. And that brings us to another big idea, the personal legend.
Oh, yeah. The old king tells the boy, it's like your reason for being. It's already inside you, part of the universe.
It's not just follow your dreams. It's deeper than that. It's like it is you somehow.
It's a part of you.
Yeah, and it's funny how that connects back to the prologue with the story of Narcissus.
Yeah, that's one of the parts I wanted to talk to you about. What do you think? How does that fit with the personal legend idea?
Well, Narcissus, he falls in love with his reflection.
Yeah.
Can't see past it. Maybe we're all doing that, looking for ourselves in the world, trying to find that perfect me, like our personal legend. It's that perfect reflection just waiting for us to find it.
Wow, I never thought of it like that. So it's not being vain. It's like seeing your potential.
Right. What you could be. And makes you wonder, are we like Narcissus sometimes? Blinded by how we see ourselves, afraid to see what we could really be?
And then there's the baker who chose to stay put, never traveled like he dreamed.
A lot of people see him as like the warning, right? Don't be like the baker, be brave.
Right.
But maybe it's not that simple. Maybe he was fulfilling his personal legend, being a baker, make people happy,
Huh. Makes you think, what is success, really? Maybe we judge too quickly.
Exactly. Maybe it's just, are you listening to your own compass?
Yeah. And speaking of compasses, the book keeps saying, omens are important, pay attention to the signs, all that.
Right.
Like the universe is talking to you.
It's like a secret code, a frequency most people can't even hear.
The boy, he learns to read those omens, sees them as a language, not just coincidence.
Right. Be present, pay attention. The world's whispering to you if you listen.
His sheep, the wind changing, even that dream he keeps having.
It's like a whole new way of understanding things. Anyone can do it, not just on some big quest, even in everyday life.
Makes you wonder, how many signs have WE missed?
Right. Too busy with our plans to see what's right in front of us.
And this whole trusting your gut thing, following the signs, it leads to that big question about the boy and Fatima,
Yeah, does chasing your dream mean you lose love? Lots of people wonder about that.
But the book handles it in an interesting way. Fatima, she's a desert woman. She just gets it.
She does.
She knows he has to go.
Doesn't hold him back. She's proud of him.
And the alchemist even tells him, staying out of fear, that's not love.
Right. Real love, it wants you to grow, to become who you're supposed to be, even if it hurts for a while.
Deep stuff.
Yeah.
So it's not about picking one or the other. It's about them both existing together.
Exactly. And that hits home for anyone who's ever had big dreams, A&D, big love. It's complicated.
It is.
It's wild how Coelho uses the desert, right? It's like this harsh, beautiful place.
Yeah.
Perfect for showing the tough parts, indeed the good parts, of going after your personal legend.
The desert, it strips everything away, doesn't it? You got to face yourself there, your fears, what you really want.
Yeah, like a test, but the test is just showing you who you already are.
I read somewhere, it's not the desert testing you, it's revealing you.
That's it, exactly. And the boy, he goes through so much, right? Robbed, tricked, almost dies in a war.
Oh, yeah.
But every time he gets tougher, more resilient because of it.
You know, it reminds me of when I was starting my own business, man. It was rough.
Oh, yeah.
I put everything I had into it, but nothing was working. I was like, this is it. I'm done. I messed up.
Yeah, tough spot to be in.
But I had this mentor, and he said something that changed everything. He said, sometimes you got to go through hell to become who you're meant to be.
Wow.
And it clicked, you know,
Yeah.
like that alchemy stuff we talked about. You can't make gold without fire.
You need that pressure, that heat.
So I kept going, even though it was brutal. And eventually, things turned around.
That's awesome.
I learned so much from those hard times, stuff I'd never have known if it was easy. Looking back, it made me a better entrepreneur, you know, stronger.
Yeah, anyone listening, that's the lesson, right? Don't run from the tough stuff. It's making you better.
Embrace the struggle.
Exactly. But what's crazy is, even with all that outside stuff happening, the boy's biggest problem is himself.
Yeah, the self-doubt.
He doubts himself, wonders if he's on the right path, even thinks about giving up on the whole dream.
We've all been there.
Yeah.
The little voice in your head telling you you're not good enough.
And that's when you got to listen to your heart,
Yeah.
you know? Not like some cheesy love song, but like your deep intuition, what's it telling you?
There's that scene, right? He realizes his heart is connected to the soul of the world, that energy we talked about.
Oh, yeah.
It's like his heart is beating with the whole universe. He's not alone.
Powerful imagery.
He's part of something bigger. There's something guiding him, even when he can't see the way.
And that brings us back to that line everyone quotes. When you want something, all the universe conspires to help you. But it's not just wishing on a star, right?
Nope.
You got to be doing the work, aligning yourself with your purpose, like you're working with the universe.
Like those little coincidences, the doors that open when you're on the right path, those are the signs.
You got to trust that it's all working out, even when it doesn't make sense.
And sometimes that trust, it gets really tested.
Mm.
The boy, he has to make hard choices, do things that seem crazy.
Giving away his money, following some weird sign.
Yeah.
Even handing over his gold to that tribal leader. He keeps going further than he's comfortable into the unknown.
With fear, anti-faith, right?
That mix is important.
It's those leaps of faith that get him to the treasure in the end. And what's interesting is, it's not what he thought it would be.
Not just the gold, right? It's what he learned, the love he found, the whole experience.
The journey itself changed him. That's the real treasure.
And that's something we can all think about, right? What treasures are we missing in our own WN lives?
The stuff that happened to us, good and bad, the people we've met, what we learned. Do we value those as much as money and stuff?
Good question. And are we looking for treasure in the wrong places, maybe?
It's crazy, right? Those unexpected places, that's where the real stuff hits you. Like the boy, he finds his treasure back in Spain, under that tree.
The sycamore tree, right where it all started.
Yeah. It's kind of sweet, but it makes you think too.
There's something so simple about it, you know? Like the answer was right there all along.
It was.
But it's not just the place, is it? It's the feeling, what it means to him.
Those tears, it wasn't just sadness or being frustrated. It was like something deeper, you
A
know?
longing for something more, yeah. I think we all feel that sometimes.
I know I do.
That feeling like there's got to be more to life, some purpose we haven't found yet.
So I got to ask, what about you listening? What makes you cry like that? What feels like super meaningful? What's touched you so deeply that you'll never forget it?
Because those tears, those moments, maybe they're signs pointing you towards your own personal legend.
Oh, wow.
They could be clues to what you're really passionate about, deep down, what you're meant to do.
It's like we try to hide our feelings sometimes,
Yeah.
right? Not be
Yeah.
vulnerable.
Yeah.
But maybe that's where we connect with who we really are, like the book says.
Yeah.
In those raw moments.
And maybe that's when the universe can get through to us best, when we're open like that.
It's like Coelho saying, don't be afraid to feel, you know?
Mhm.
Let your heart lead, good or bad.
Embrace all of it, the whole human experience. That's how you find your treasure.
And remember, like we talked about, it's not just the end goal. It's the journey, the whole messy thing.
Exactly. Embrace the hard parts, the screw-ups even. It's all part of becoming something new, like turning lead into gold.
This whole deep dive into The Alchemist, man, it's been a trip, hasn't it?
It has.
Not just about the book, but about all this big stuff it makes you think about.
Following your dreams, listening to that inner voice, the potential we all have.
We hope it sparks something in you listening. Maybe a little more purpose, a little more courage to go after what you want.
Yeah, because the universe, it is helping us, but we got to take those first steps.
We got to do the work.
So go out there, listen to your heart, and create your own Ectorwin story. That's what The Alchemist is all about.
That's the real treasure, right?
Yeah.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive, everyone. See you next time.